Welcome. Lao Shi Lawrence McElroy for Water Tiger School of Tai Chi Chuan. Here we are again. This is it, folks. We are putting the cap on our approach to the Five Animal Frolics, our approach to the Five Animal Frolics. This is the 26th frolic. So we've done 5 crane. I know that's a heron, but I couldn't find a crane that I could afford. 5 crane, 5 monkey, riding on the deer, 5 tiger, 5 bear, and 5 deer. Now a lot of people, the 26th is actually the first frolic, for it's normally referred to in different approaches to the 5 animal frolics as the basic animal walk. For us, it's the 5 animal walk. So it's a little bit more complicated. We save it until the end, and you'll find out why as this video unfolds. Since we are putting the cap on the 5 animal frolics, there is a new playlist on the channel. So if you look below in the information section, there is a link to the 5 animal frolics playlist. Keep in mind, as we've been doing these frolics since March of 2020, our first one was like the last couple of days of March of 2020. We started with tiger walking. That link will be there, by the way, down below me. I almost said downstairs. We just sort of did, I was talking about this in the studio last night, and I said, I just kind of like, what frolic do we feel like doing over the last almost 3 years? And that's what we did, actually 4 years at this point. So they're shuffled, but they're all going to be there, including this one. So they'll stay on the playlist they have been on, and they'll also be on the 5 Animal Frolic playlist. So there's that. We are shooting this on December 1st of 2023. VTC stands for Voices That Care. December 1st every year is World AIDS Day. This is the book Voices That Care, Stories and Encouragements for People with AIDS, HIV, and Those Who Love Them. It's by a gentleman named Neil Hitchens. And in the mid-90s, the book came out in 1992, in the mid-90s, I adapted that book for the stage. Hence all the little post-it note markers. It premiered on the stage in 1996, June 7th. That's the June 7 back here. At the First Unitarian Church in Des Moines, Iowa. It was co-produced between the Central Iowa AIDS Project and Stage West Theater Company in Des Moines that I also started, helped to found. I was a founding member. This year, this is the 35th year for World AIDS Day. So it's been around for a while. It's actually the 42nd year of the epidemic. And the focus this year, the theme, is remember and commit. The remember part is to remember those who we have lost. What I usually talk about in those terms is all the potential. Think of where you are now at your life. I'm almost 62. And I lost a very close friend when we were both 25. And I just think of all that I have done since then, all the lives with which I have come into contact, either for good or not. It's quite a pool of influence I have had that Jerry has not. So we remember those that we have lost so we can commit to joining together and eliminating this particular scourge. So there you go. Hey, I got through that without getting emotional. I didn't think I was going to be able to do that. So, as I always do in the studio, when I talk about something heavy, then I have to tell a joke. So I've told several over the years in these videos. Some of them, are sort of Tai Chi related. But here's one that, you know, isn't really. I didn't really have a joke prepared. No, that's not the joke. So why do you never lie to X-ray technicians? Because they can see right through you. Ba-dum-bum. Okay, so as I was talking about the 25 Animal Frolics, here are our animals. This approach to the Animal Frolics is usually done in a circle, so we have plush animals that we use in the studio. We always do a deep drill to begin with, and then move into the circle walk. So we mark the circle. We have a center, and then we hit 4 points on that circle and walk around. But the deep drill is always done in a linear fashion, and that's what we'll do today. After we do our warm-up, as always, our warm-up for the Animal Frolics is advance and retreat from the 9 temple exercises, because it helps to bring our focus into our knees, to make sure our knees and toes are facing the same direction. Aside from that little bit of proprioception and kinesthesia, the awareness of our body in space and the awareness of our body in space in motion, there's some other benefits. I'm munching on my mint. Probably means I'll need to get another drink before we do this. But the organs that are benefited by advance and retreat include the kidneys, liver, spleen, pancreas, gallbladder, and the ascending, descending, and transverse colons. And it also helps to work the abdominals and the legs, as well as activates the Xia Dantian, not the acupuncture point, though it does connect the acupuncture point of the Xia Dantian to the Mingmen, to the gate of life, as well as the Shen Yu, the essence door, which sits around the gate of life. I'm just sort of shaking to get warm. I'm going to start about shoulder wide. You can go a little bit wider. You don't want to go too wide, harder on the knees. Closer together is actually easier to keep the knees and the toes in alignment, so do what's right for you. Make sure the toes are forward and the knees are forward throughout. If for by chance you just happen to be tuning in for the first time, we're going to turn and look to one side. Now I'm turning to my left. If you turn to your right, it's okay. I'll talk about, one side of the room and the other, as opposed to left and right, as best I can. But as I turn to look to the left, I need to be aware that if I go so far and the hips start to turn, then I'm going to twist that trailing knee. That ain't good, right? So I want to have this separation between the upper body and the lower body. Depending upon how flexible you are in the lower back, the hips, and the knees, a little bit of twist, you'll probably be okay. Also below is the usual caveat. Before you do this, talk to your doctors, right? Twist, and the way that I do this is, and then I suggest others, is you sort of you break the torso into bands. So I turn on the first band. And then when I feel that start to pull the hip and that pulls the knee, then I stop. Then I move into the second aspect of my torso, provided I can. I have a little fusion surgery in my lumbar region, but the rest of my spine is free. Other people might have Harrington rods or fusion all the way up and down, so you're not going to twist very much in that case. That's okay. Boom, because wherever you end, that's the third portion of my torso, then you turn your head on your neck. So if you don't have a lot of mobility in the spine, you're going to be basically looking that direction, maybe even if it's one solid piece, just your peripheral vision, as you shift back and forth. The direction that I'm turning, we start with retreat in advance and retreat. And there's actually sort of a method to that, because a method to my madness. Because we use this to also find where we are advancing when we're retreating, and when we're retreating where we are advancing. So that's one of the considerations. So I'm going to weight the foot that's closest to the side of the room to which I have turned to look. Now, I'll breathe when you have to for now. I'll point out a particular breath pattern. I like my arms dangling, right? If for no other reason, it helps you to create that sense of, you know, everything else is relatively active. I'm twisting, I'm getting a pump in my legs, so I'm actually activating the heart muscle as well. But I want to be able to do that and allow the arms just to be floppy here, right? Not washing machine agitator arms. So I just let them relax. Now I'm going to push down on that foot that's closest to the side that I'm looking. There's a shift, and then there's a turn that separates. So I'm not shifting and turning at the same time. I'm shifting first and then turning. Pressing down, extending that leg, compressing this leg to move away from that side of the space. Because something is moving or someone is moving toward me, they are becoming yang, I'm becoming yin. I'm compressing to their expansion. And turn. Now somebody or something is expanding on this side, and I'm compressing. If you can see the, well, it's not really angled quite right. Little Tai Chi symbol there. Yin yang. I'm becoming black as they're becoming, you know, white. I am becoming yin as they're becoming yang. Turning. Now, if you want a breath pattern, maybe an inhalation as you shift on the retreat, an exhalation as you turn. Shift and turn. But shift and turn. If focusing on the image, shift and turn, or governing the breath to a certain pattern, shift and turn, or considering shift that this leg is advancing as I am retreating. If this shoulder is retreating as this shoulder is advancing as I am retreating, shift. If any of those considerations, shift and turn, start to shift and turn, become a distraction. If I allow them to become a distraction, shift and turn, shift and turn to my attention that my knees and my toes are facing the same direction. Shift and turn, shift and turn. By the way, I do have to point out, shift and turn, that the HD camera we use, shift and turn, is sort of a fisheye view. Shift and turn. So shift and turn, depending upon angles and that sort of thing. Shift and turn. It can actually appear that my toes are abducted. Shift, turned out, and turn. Shift and turn when they are indeed parallel. Shift, no turn. We're going to switch to advance. I wasn't counting repetitions. I was just sort of going for a while. So there'll be a suggested change in the breath pattern here eventually. Now, you can probably imagine, again, if you have never been here before and seen us do advance and retreat, that force, that energy, that individual is becoming yin. Now, they are compressing, so I'm going to expand in the space they've left and turn. So if I'm expanding into the space they've left, I might change my breath pattern to exhale on the shift and inhale on the turn. Shift and turn. Toes and knees forward. Shift and turn. The reason that we do this, shift and turn, is that this approach to the animal frolic, shift and turn, the frolics do indeed shift and turn. As you probably gleaned, shift and turn from my earlier verbal about walking the circle. Shift, actually, they're walks. And turn, shift, and turn again. Two things. I am not shifting and turning at the same time. I'm shifting first and then turning. Shifting first and then turning. Maybe exhaling on the shift, inhaling on the turn. Exhaling on the shift, inhaling on the turn. I feel like probably, I don't know, about 4 more pairs. There's 8 and turn, 7 and turn, 6 and turn, 5 and turn, 4 and turn, 3 and turn, 2, and turn. And last one, turn and face the center and redivide the weight equally between the 2 feet. Ta-da! There you go. A little advance and retreat from the 9 temple exercises. So, the 5 animal walk. Again, if you've seen any of the animal frolics, this will be relatively familiar. More or less, we're doing 45 to 45. We're walking a line here. I'm going to be at the 45. I'm going to turn. This is why we focused on the knee, right? Because I want to turn the upper body, but not my hips to twist. See what happens with that trailing knee? It's folding and twisting in right there. That's bad. So I want that separation. So if you can't be 45 to 45, here's the straight line. There's a 45-degree angle. There's a 45-degree angle. If you have to have your toes a little bit closer to being forward, okay, do what you need to do. There's no shoulder width here. There's no set length here. You're stepping in a way that's comfortable for you, that you can govern, and that you don't create any pain. Right? So I'm going to shift. Now just breathe for now. We'll talk about the breath probably next. Set the heel down. Roll into that foot. Keep the crown point of the head over the base of the pelvic bowl and bring in the back foot. And then turn. Ball of the foot's down, heel is slightly up. I don't really have any weight on that leg unless I need to not fall. Set the heel down. Fill the foot. Bring the back foot in. Now the inhalation and exhalation here is pretty common approach to the breath for the animal frogs. Not all of the animals, but many of them have a soft, sort of yinish inhalation in through the nose. That happens. Now, notice that I've been pausing too. So you're going to pause both movement, upper body, lower body, and breath between the parts of the movement. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to find an exhalation. I'm going to inhale. Hold the movement, hold the breath, nice soft inhalation through the nose. I'm going to set the heel down. I'm going to purse my lips. And it's the sound of the wind. So again, soft inhalation in through the nose. Nice gentle breeze. I don't know if it picked that up or not, so hopefully that did. And same thing, I should be done with the breath. At the same time, I'm done with the movement. So that means as I'm inhaling and moving, setting the ball of the foot down. Both are done at the same time. I'm holding. Setting the heel down while I'm still holding my breath. And the exhale should last the same amount of time as it does to bring that foot in. A little preview, a little detail actually, of the closing. So when we finish a pass, or when we finish a round around the circle, you know, even if you go through all 25 or 26 frolics and then close, this is the close. You turn in the direction that you've been walking. So here, walking in a linear fashion, I'm going to turn forward toward the camera. My hands from wherever they are, they're going to turn palm up. It looks a little bit like Pour Chi through the Bok Wei from our Tai Chi Qigong breathing set. Come down, and notice I'm sinking down a little bit here. So I can have movement up. Now if you've watched our evolution video, you know that we've added a little moment here that goes beyond just closing and then going and doing the next thing. It's relatively new to our lineage. We like it. We don't always do it because it's new. And it hasn't quite been formed as a solid habit yet. So there's the lower body. The upper body, the physical aspect of this, is really relatively easy in both upper body and lower body. So the arms are hanging when we're in the neutral, or what we refer to neutral or ready position, but they're active. And by active, I don't mean they're in any set position as far as like you're manifesting a cup or something at this time, a cupped hand at this time. It's just a natural open hand, but I'm going to turn the palms back. So that's what we mean by slight activation in the hands. It's really more of a slight activation in the wrists, but everything's connected. And the hand that is opposite the extended leg is going to come up more or less at about just underneath my nose. And it has, you know, it's just that nice sort of rounded, almost delicate lady hand, beautiful lady hand configuration. And the hand that's behind, so that matches the extended leg, is going to be in a similar position, lower spine, top of buttocks, cupped, and palm up. And then you set to the heel, exhale, and everything comes in. And you pause. And then inhale. Again, it's at about nose level, sort of rounded, almost like setting on like a stability ball. This is sort of cupping the underside of a stability ball. Set the heel down. And even though this hand has, an arm has a short distance to go, and this has a longer distance to go, it and the foot, they and the foot should all settle into place at the same time with that exhalation. So there's the basic parts, right? The movement here should feel slow, subtle, with a sense of satisfaction and contentment. So there's no extra, you know, muscle activation or anything, which we do in some of the other frolics, some of the other 25 of them. I pointed out the 5 animals down here. But when we finished up the monkey a few weeks ago, I mentioned that we forgot to pull these guys. They're little magnet pod monkeys that were a gift from a student for our plush animal bag that we use, because we switch out the animals. We don't just use these, right? But I just thought it'd be cute to put them on the pole, because that's what we forgot to do last time. So that's why those guys are there. The hard part is sort of the practice point of this particular frolic. It's what makes it the 5 Animal Frolics, is that we are seeking to blend all of the animal aspects of all of the animals together here. So that means the nature and the spirit of each animal. The crane's nature is expressed in grace and elegance. Its spirit is light and peaceful as if soaring through the clouds. The monkey, its nature, their nature is expressed through constant activity, like a sense of movement even when we're in that solid position. Not really doing the monkey thing. This was talking about the monkey, and I did that. So, but that idea that everything's ready to move even though you're in this neutral, subtle, and content position. And its spirit is flexible, playful, clever, and intelligent. The tiger's nature is expressed in its great power and strength. Its spirit is a great ferociousness that surrounds a certain inner softness. The bear's nature is expressed in a softness on the surface with great power underneath. And its spirit manifests in its steadiness and solidity. The deer, unlike the way that we normally, especially in the West, picture deer, nature is calm and alert. And the deer's spirit is supple, without limits. All 10 of those things, the 5 natures and the 5 spirits, should be a part of us as we do the 5 Animal Frolic. So there's a lot going on there, but just sort of, you know, to internalize that, you become the crane, the monkey, the tiger, the bear, and the deer. The Qi focus for the Five Animal Frolic approach to the basic animal walk is just keeping in mind all of the different Qi foci for the five animals. The crane is a visualization of the Qi rising from the Xia Dantian to the Zhang Dantian on the inhalation and sinking back to the Xia Dantian on the exhalation, with a secondary focus on manifesting the Qi properly in the arms. Like for instance, for this, part of that focus will be the Qi expanding, maybe pulling, pulling this arm up. So the Qi's on the surface, you're focusing on the Qi on the top of the arm, where in the arm underneath, it's the inside of the arm that is where the Qi is manifesting for the movement. So that's the crane. The monkey, you visualize the Qi and the Xia Dantian while focusing on the hands. And that's it. There's no inhale or exhale for that one. The tiger, there's a focus on the Ming Men point with a visualization of the Qi gently emanating from the Xia Dantian on the inhalation and expanding out, especially to the hands on the exhalation. The bear, the Qi is sunk to the Xia Dantian at the inhale. So notice that there's some contrast here. Qi can move in both directions. Just like the Xia Dantian itself physically manifests movement and flow of energy in all directions at all the time, then so can I have a sense that on the inhalation, to match the crane, the Qi is rising to the Zhang Dantian. I can also have a contrast, something up and something down. That there is also Qi sinking to the Xia Dantian. And on the exhalation for the bear, Qi is brought to the shoulders. For the deer, we keep a sense, a feeling, an awareness of the small circulation. The yin conception vessel, the renmei, and the yang governing vessel, the dumai, and renmai. Flowing up the back, across the top of the head, down. Remember, that's why we normally keep the tip of the tongue lightly touching the roof of the mouth for that circulation. Aside from that, a secondary focus is on the point where they connect, the yin conception vessel. Some people have it at the hu yin, the bottom of the sea, the perineum. Some people have it at the Ming Men. Our lineage has it about in between, so I'm not even at the anal cleft. I'm not at the Ming Men, about there, but sort of about halfway in between the two. That's our connection point. That's where our mind is. For Water Tiger School, wherever you place your connection point between the yin conception vessel and the yang governing vessel should be where your focus is. So all of those things, as we do the movement, should be consideration. 5 different natures, 5 different spirits, 5 blended Qi foci. And that's it. That's how we become the 5 animals. Animals aid us and may aid us in our everyday lives, our dreams, meditations. Since they were created before us, before humans, they are closer to the source and can act as allies, guides, and familiars in our search for wholeness. That's a quote from an Inuit woman. And it's on a lot of our 5 Animal Frolic materials. So I thought I may have shared that in one of the other 25 videos, but there you go. So a couple of passes. Breathing, relaxing, and releasing. Every once in a while, when we're shooting these videos, I suddenly have this thought. It's like, oh wait, the music stopped. We don't do music during these videos. So I like to start in a moving fashion. I'm going to get another drink. In a moving fashion, so it's not just, physically just, this has to go here, this has to go there. So things move into place. I'm going to do a little yin-yang thing with my beverage because I also have some warm tea. a little iron goddess. So I'm going to bounce the weight into my left. I'm going to turn that foot out to the 45. I'm going to start thinking crane, monkey, tiger, bear, deer. Chi. All sorts of different things. I'm going to start with an inhalation. I'm going to exhalation. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to bounce the weight into my left. I'm going to inhale. So I can exhale, turn the palms back, come into this position, and pause. Soft inhalation in through the nose. Hold. Set the heel down. Sound of the wind. Hold. Inhale. Turning to the 45-ish. Right? As I always say, what did we do before we had the word, those three little words, ish, three little words, three little letters. Elegant-ish. Graceful-ish. Playful-ish. Solid-ish. That was a really bad exhale and movement in for me. And hold. Not shrugging the shoulders, right? Not doing the monkey thing. Not doing the crane thing. Not doing the bear thing. Conglomeration of all the animals. I know my feet are off, but I'm still going to take 2 more steps this direction. Set the heel down. So again, remember, you can't see them right now. But I'm to the toes, the ball of my right foot. This is going to be our last step in this direction. Set the heel down. And hold. That was my last step. My next would be to the left, which is where I started. So I'm going to turn and face the camera. Palms up, palms down. And I'm sinking down. You can also rise up there and then sink down to bring your hands to the acupuncture point for the Shia Dantian, between the belly button and the pubic bone. Pass number 1. So I'll start a little bit even closer to the camera. Get a little bit longer past this direction. Shake out. Again, I'm going to separate my feet a little bit first. I'm going to bounce my weight to my left. I'm going to inhale, turn my right foot out to the 45. Exhale, turning the palms back and then pausing. And then inhale and holding. Set the heel down. And holding. And inhale, ball foot, 45-ish. Set the heel down. Sound of the wind. Back foot coming in. Hands sliding into position. Breath, movement should be done at the same time. Hold. Still breathing a comfortable amount. I'm not breathing any deeper than normal for what it is that we do, Tai Chi and Qigong. Set the heel down. I'm not breathing any more shallow. And hold. I'm seeking in both to just breathe a comfortable amount, 60, really 70, 75% of my breath capacity. Holding. Set the heel down. On both the inhalation and the exhalation, and hold. And inhale and hold. Set the heel down. Exhale and hold. And we get 3 more steps in. Inhale and hold. Set the heel down. Exhale and hold. Inhale, last, extending the left leg, and hold. Set the heel down. Note how slow this backhand is coming around, so it settles in at the same time the foot and the other hand settles in, the right hand settles in. Last step in this direction. Set the heel down. And hold. Turn into the direction you've been frolicking, palms up, palms down. I'm sinking down this time. And rising up. Bringing the hands, both palms in over the acupuncture point for the Xia Dantian. Taking that moment and then doing the ubiquitous McElroy Lao Shi ball of foot stomp, which came from I don't know where. So again, keeping in mind as we do that, grace and elegance, light and peaceful, constant activity, playful and intelligent, fierce, strong, fierceness on the outside, softness on the inside, softness on the outside, power underneath, solid, steady, calm and alert, subtle, supple, without limits. The Qi moving up to the Zhang Dantian as well as down to the Dantian, extending to the hands, extending to the top of the arm, the underneath side of the arm. Small circulation, their connection point. Soft emanation from the Xia Dantian, driving to the extremities, especially the hands and the feet. Why am I standing over here? Because we're going to do a little half circle. We don't usually do that in these. So I'm kind of at about the halfway point, front to back on the mat. I'm going to sort of do a circle that'll take me relatively close to the snords, and then we'll end up over here. So a little smiley, little bottom part of a smiley face. I'm going to bounce the weight over on the left. I'm going to turn that right foot out. Now I'm visualizing the border of my circle. So I'm at a 45 based on my current spot on that circle. Exhaling. Inhaling. So I'm sort of turning my 45 is inside the circle. Set the heel down. And I'm coming inside the circle. And holding. Hopefully your bring in of your back leg was better than mine just was. Inhale. So again, based on where I am in my circle, hold. Set the heel down. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Set the heel down. Hold. Something weird going on with my left leg. Inhale. Hold. Set the heel down. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Soft inhalation in through the nose. Set the heel down. Movement should feel relaxed. Supple, subtle, and content. That was the inhale and hold. Set the heel down. There's a foot placement thing on my left leg. Hold. Set the heel down. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Set the heel down. Crown point of the head, base of the pelvic bowl to the ball of the foot. of a standard vertical alignment structure. Inhale, hold. Set the heel down. Hold. Inhale, hold. Set the heel down. If you saw what I did there, I brought the foot in a little bit. That's how you adjust your step. If you're playing in a community walk and you find yourself getting closer to the person in front of you, then what you do, I was in this position, I brought the foot in a little bit. Right? I could even bring the foot in here, right? Almost taking a step backwards. Or if I find myself falling behind the person in front of me, I could then, when I move into the next position, I could step a little bit longer. Hopefully you're still breathing while you're waiting for me to finish that little aside there. So take a moment, get back into it. Just 2 more steps. Inhale and hold. Set the heel down. And hold. Last one. Inhale and hold. Set the heel down. Now I'm sort of visualizing what the rest of my circle would be, turning onto that circle where I currently am oriented. And there you go. Didn't hold that close long enough. See, I told you, not quite a habit yet. Gotta give yourself a few months building up something new. Been not really holding that moment for most of the 3 decades that I've been doing Tai Chi and Qigong. So it takes a little bit to get that change in there. Last of the Animal Frolics, again, below is the link, but you can also just go look at playlists, and since it's the new one, it's the one that's closest to the top. At least it is for now. There is a playlist that will have all 26 walks. So by the time you see this one will be on it, but it's not right now because it hasn't existed. But anyway, and we'll still do our best to sort of bring in something Qigong-ish in shuffling with a Tai Chi topic, which will be next. We're getting into the end of the year. Again, this is being shot on December 1st of 2023. So the silly season might not be conducive to keeping our every 3 weeks schedule, but we'll do the best we can. So the next one may be late, maybe early. We'll see. And back to Tai Chi, and then after the first of the year, already, we'll be back with another Qigong topic. By the way, just a preview of 2024, we understand, we haven't done a lot of our research yet that we normally do for the Chinese New Year, that it is a wood dragon year. So renewal, rejuvenation, and I think discovery is sort of, if you want to break it down to like 3 words. As always, you should also know, we do preview all of the comments. We really did that primarily for the fact that the YouTube algorithms weren't picking everything up as far as like spam hyperlinks, generally for dating services. So we just decided to preview all of them. But as long as you don't flame us, and yes, we have been flamed, because we didn't always do it that way. Even if it's, if it's criticism, if it's constructive, we're not going to not post it. We're not going to not approve it. We'll take constructive criticism, and that sort of thing. And again, we always post a link to these videos when they first go up on our Facebook page, which is a little bit more public, but sort of the same thing. Don't flame us there either, or you'll be in the proverbial doghouse with us. So thanks again for your time and attention. I hope you found this informative, interesting, maybe different if you do your own animal frolics and you have a basic animal walk that's actually a basic animal walk. This just gives you another idea of how to sort of change up your practice, maybe. Or maybe not. You may not want to do that, and that's okay too. So thanks for your time and attention. Not sure when the next time is that will see me, but it should be in the weeks ahead. Take care. Stay safe. It's a pretty viral winter out there for people. Ta.